income generating space today. What is one common mistake you see investors make during acquisition phase?
Yeah, well, we've made a lot of mistakes ourselves. We're always
Yeah,
learning,
I
always
know.
learning from, always learning from. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. I guess one of the biggest mistakes I see a lot of times people rely either on emotions or on
Hmm.
spreadsheets, right?
Oh, wow.
And successful investors, I feel they do both, right? They obviously numbers have to work, right? Numbers
Hmm.
have to work, but
Hmm.
eventually you have to make a decision, right? You have to make a decision. Otherwise, you're in this analysis paralysis sort of
Paralysis. Yeah.
stage, right? We keep on looking. I know this one investor that keeps calling me. He's been calling me for 3 years now.
Oh,
Market
wow.
used to be all-time high. Now it's kind of gone down. Eventually, it will rebound and go back up again. Nobody has a crystal ball when, but let's say 6 months, year, 2 years,
Yeah.
whatever that time frame that everybody's thinking out there. But this guy keeps calling me. He has spreadsheets over spreadsheets, and he's
Mm.
reviewing 200 hotels. And I call him and say, dude, make a decision, right?
Mm.
Make your decisions. There's no perfect timing. You know, nobody's going to ring a bell at the bottom and say, okay, we've hit the bottom. Now let's
Yeah.
go start coming back up again. And so the best investors, they balance conviction with data.
Mm.
And that's very important. And so I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that I see investors make is that they don't make a decision or they make a decision too fast because they lie directly on their gut. Gut is important, but data and gut combination of that is deadly.
Wow. Data with God conviction. That's what makes it happen.
That's what makes it happen. That's what makes it happen. Yeah.
So talking about that, advice to upcoming and you have you talked about some junior brokers in your firm also too. What kind of advice are you going to say what you have for upcoming brokers if you going to advise a younger broker looking to really have impact on the niche of commercial real estate?
Yes, sir.
What's
Yeah.
what skill set would you transfer right now?
I mean, I would say maybe three things. I think if I was starting right now today, I
Hmm.
would lead generate, right, religiously every
Wow.
single day. And you'd be surprised that when you start calling people, texting people, emailing people just to be their advisor, just to be their support out there, what happens? Phone call starts ringing at that point. So lead generation, and then not just that, you got to follow up, right? When people are calling you, you got to reply back. You got to return your phone calls. So lead gen, you got to follow up, and
Mm.
market knowledge. You have to know your market. You have to know the market in the back of your head. So when
Yeah.
people call you, and then everything else can come sort of later. But if you're a newer broker, you have to do these things. You track your activities every single day, develop consistent habits, right? Not just spur of the moment, develop consistent habits and don't chase every single deal. Success usually comes to people who focus. So, that one thing that we were talking about earlier,
Yeah.
that is, pick one, become an expert, and
Yeah.
things will come to you.
Awesome, awesome. So for you newbies out there, you hear it from the master's mouth. Is you gotta stay focused. You just have to be on top of lead generation in terms of relationship. Talk about relationship. It makes things happen in commercial real estate. So another question I want us to answer before we leave today is that the looking at this, I call it master key question for today. Looking ahead at the rest of 2026 and beyond, what is the single biggest trend or shift in commercial property that serious investors need to pay attention to right now?
Boy, that's a loaded question. I wish I had the answer for that. Yeah, I mean, I think 2026, in my opinion, will be remembered probably as one of the better buying windows that we've had for years. Because I feel, and I'm talking on the buying side, because we
Yeah.
are, I feel like we're at a cusp. Maybe we may go down a little bit more. Maybe we might just rebound. But
Hmm.
we've been sort of, at this stage for a few years now. As we know in our world, that when interest rate starts going down, values start going, it's inverse effect. They start going
Yeah.
back up
Hmm.
again,
Hmm.
regardless of the asset class that you're in, right?
Yeah.
And nobody's going to be ringing that bell at the bottom saying, okay, we're done.
Yeah.
Now let's
Yeah.
start,
True.
let's start going back up again.
Mm.
So many owners are facing loan maturities right now. A lot of lenders are taking these assets back. Some people are restructuring their debt currently right now. That's creating opportunity for a disciplined investor, right? And so as interest rates will eventually normalize, as we kind of just talked about, we will see that that access to capital will come back again. People will start wanting to invest again. Your limited partners, your LPs will come back again. Right now,
Yeah.
everybody's reserved, right? The
Yeah.
confidence levels are kind of low at this point. And as
Yeah.
confidence goes down, people want to touch and feel their money before they give money to you and say, here, Ola, go and invest in something, right? But that
Absolutely.
will eventually come back again. So the biggest mistakes I feel like investors make is they wait for that perfect time to feel
Perfect.
comfortable, and so maybe the opportunity might be gone at that time, right? So you have
True.
to be knowledgeable about the data, and then you got to take action. Great investors, they don't predict the future, right? They can
Mm.
predict the future perfectly. They can just take actionable steps. And so I would say, you don't build wealth by waiting for that perfect time. You build wealth by recognizing imperfect opportunities before anybody else can, and that's it. And sometimes that could mean that you may be lucky and you can hit something, but know your market, know your data, and then once you do that, take action, because action, I believe, is going to take you and give you rewards more than anything else will.